Hey guys, everyone. Hi Aya, hi Suresh. Hey everyone, I'm also streaming this on YouTube. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. Awesome. Cool, wonderful. Feel free to turn the video off if you prefer. You can also just unmute. You can write questions in the chat. Hey guys. Hi Aya. So I'm streaming this on YouTube as well, so that you guys can ask questions about IT recruitment. This is a wonderful opportunity to cover any of your questions, go deeper in the tech recruitment strategies. So feel free to type the question in the chat. You can obviously unmute as well. We can take it from there. Just a quick FYI, in the last few days, I've been working on an IT project manager role with a special focus on security. So cybersecurity project manager. And it's one of the easier roles, really, because the daily rate is so high that candidates are fighting for the opportunity to submit the application. So it's quite an interesting experience, really, because usually we don't have enough candidates and we kind of struggle to get one or two people through the doors for these government institutions. But in this case, candidates are just applying in batches, so we could say even. So that was quite fun experience, quite cool. The requirement is rather difficult because they are looking for someone who is certified in project management. So the PMI, PMP certifications, Prince2 certification, plus at the same time, the candidates need to have the security certification. So quite a difficult one, but as I mentioned, candidates were recommending each other, sharing with their friends and colleagues. So quite cool. So anyway, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask in the chat on YouTube. You should be able to see the chat on the side, so feel free to share. And also, you guys who are connected on Zoom, feel free to write a question. We will take it from there. Usually, people also ask me, what's the best way to get started with tech recruitment? And I would say you should start with the IT terminology, also because it's the foundation of all the other activities within the tech recruitment. So you will need to be able to analyze IT requirements. So of course, you need to know the IT terminology. You would need to know a bit more about the programming languages, software frameworks. So that's why the foundation is also at the beginning of the summer camp, at the beginning of the full cycle masterclass, and also at the beginning of the booster program that they organize. So start with the IT foundation. It takes several hours in our module to go through. The IT terminology takes probably about 8 hours. So I would definitely recommend you allocate some time, not one day, because it would be too much to go through. I saw recruiters who dedicate 1 hour a day, then it takes them about a week or 2 weeks to go through the IT essentials, and that probably works fine. Not too much, not too little. You can also dedicate, let's say, 2 or 3 hours today, 2 or 3 hours tomorrow. That would be fine as well. And then you can transition to the other modules, such as the analyzing job requirements, sourcing candidates, screening candidates, and so on. So that's the path that I would recommend. You can obviously skip from one model to the other, but I wouldn't recommend that, because you will be quite lost with some of the sourcing strategies if you don't know what is, I don't know, CCNA or some of the Azure cloud certifications. So that's why I would suggest you dedicate time to the IT essentials. I know it's not the most fun, but still, I mean, imagine you would like to become a doctor, right? You would still need to go through lots of, months and months of studies, probably years and years of studies before you are allowed to go to the surgery room, and that's fine, right? That's expected. So don't skip it. Even with tech recruitment, dedicate time to learning the basics, the IT essentials, the IT vocabulary, the jargon, and everything, and then you will be able to progress to the more difficult areas, so to speak. Okay, so that's one. Then also I saw a question in the members area about the more, say, difficult parts of the IT world. So the question was whether they should go through also the cloud technologies and cybersecurity. So with the cloud, I would definitely recommend you to learn about, because cloud is here to stay. The Amazon cloud, Amazon Web Services, the Microsoft Azure cloud, and Google Cloud Platform, they are here to stay. Plenty of companies use them, and even more than a year ago. So it's growing significantly. So, I mean, sooner or later, you anyway need to learn about the cloud. So I would rather suggest you learn about the cloud now, today or tomorrow, or by the end of the week, and then you will be kind of safe. Don't postpone it, don't procrastinate, rather focus on it now, and just dive as deep as your time allows. With the most difficult topics, such as cybersecurity, you can probably skip it for now. It obviously depends on your current knowledge of the IT world. If you already know the web development, if you already know the programming languages and frameworks, then just continue with the cybersecurity part. If you are completely new, then skip cybersecurity and leave it for later. Also, I just mentioned a while ago that with my colleagues, we were working on the project manager strong in cybersecurity. So, I mean, these roles are here. Plenty of companies look for security specialists these days with regards to the hacking attacks and whatnot. So, you are very likely to be looking for some security specialists in the foreseeable future if you keep working as the IT recruiter. So I can look at the other question. What about the other modules, such as the messaging and psychology? Yeah, so those other modules, the modules such as the IT candidate psychology and messaging candidates, they are super important, because plenty of recruiters and HR specialists, talent acquisition specialists, just write very plain messages to IT candidates, but IT candidates are overwhelmed with opportunities these days. They have plenty of companies to work for. There are lots of technical vacancies on different job boards. So if you would like to get candidates' attention, you should find a more appealing way to cut through the noise. So the more appealing way could be, for example, by imagining what the candidate is looking for potentially, and then pitching the opportunity as the right fit for what he could be looking for. Just to give you an example, QA specialists usually want to work in an environment where the web developers value QA, quality assurance specialists. So, if your client facilitated the environment where developers value QA, you can also pitch this opportunity as the amazing opportunity to join a team where the web developers value QA. And this is a great opportunity for any QA to join a team that values contributions of the quality assurance. So, I mean, you can find a way how to pitch any opportunity in a more compelling way at the end of the day. So think about the IT security project managers that I mentioned a while ago. The rate is really outstanding. It's about 800 euros per day, which could be about 150,000 euros per year. So we can pitch it to candidates as a wonderful opportunity to earn 150,000 euros per year, which in Europe is really a lot of money. Another angle could be, for example, if you work or your client is a startup based in San Francisco and you are pitching to candidates who are in Europe, you can say, hey, if you ever wanted to work for a fast-growing startup from the Bay Area, from San Francisco, we have a great opportunity for you. You can start working remotely for this company from San Francisco. Okay, so essentially you would be finding different ways how to approach every vacancy. And that is thoroughly explained in the module IT candidate psychology and messaging candidates, because you are very likely just to message candidates via email or on LinkedIn or maybe on WhatsApp. So that's why I called or labeled this module as messaging candidates. You are not very likely to cold call candidates. You can obviously send them messages on WhatsApp, but mostly I saw recruiters to just message mass email or message on LinkedIn via emails. So yeah, so that's one of the ways. Cool. Okay, another question. Just looking at the list of the questions. DevOps, how to find DevOps developers? Well, that's a good question. I mean, we could probably break it down to two different avenues. One is, how do I find them on LinkedIn? And where else can I find those DevOps engineers? Because most of the HR managers and talent acquisition specialists, recruiters, most of the people use LinkedIn, and anyone can just open the search bar and type DevOps engineer. But with that, you would be just scratching the surface, really. There is a lot more you can do, in other words. And for that, actually, the module IT talent sourcing strategies is very important, because it will expand your mind in terms of what else you can do, how you can come up with a more advanced search on LinkedIn. There are different ways. For example, you start with the keyword DevOps in the title. But then what about SRE? So it stands for Site Reliability Engineer. So they do pretty much the same as DevOps, but they are referred to as SREs. And then another similar role could be DevSecOps. So you may want to have this keyword instead of DevOps, or you can combine it all in one Boolean query, such as DevOps or DevSecOps or SRE, and suddenly you expand the search even further. So that's one approach, okay? And then the other approach would be to drop the title completely and just focus on the keywords. So the keywords on LinkedIn Recruiter can include even more characters, more words. So you can come up with a list of different tools that DevOps engineers are very likely to use. For example, Kubernetes, for example, let's say cloud, AWS or GCP, probably Jenkins or Travis, some of the tools for continuous integration and continuous deployment, maybe GitLab, GitHub. Okay, so in the keywords section, you can include a lot more tools. And this way you can find DevOps engineers even without stating the word DevOps in the title, because they may have a title such as system administrator, and they would still administer cloud as DevOps engineers. So anyway, there are different strategies on how to find these people on LinkedIn. That's why we have the module and also the webinar replays on the e-learning platform. And then the second approach would be to find them elsewhere. So you may wonder where elsewhere. I mean, you can find them on other platforms. I'm just thinking about GitHub, but probably not for DevOps engineers. You could use your own applicant tracking system. Maybe you also have some talent pool, for example, some spreadsheet, or maybe you also use Recruit Instantly. So that could be a way. And you can post on different job boards. You can post on a LinkedIn job board. You can post on Indeed, and consider also some local job boards. For example, in Germany, they have a local job board, and not just one, of course, more. In the Czech Republic, in Slovakia, in Poland, there are different job boards. And then there are other job boards specific to IT, but they're international. So for example, in Poland, they have a job board that just, I forgot what's the name of it. It's like jobs in IT or something like this, or IT jobs, jobsinit.com. So that's one job board. Maybe we work remotely.com could be also a good fit. Okay, so plenty of different ways on how to find qualified DevOps engineers. You could probably also try posting on Facebook with paid advertisement. Now, when I'm thinking about it, you could try, for example, a good hook on Facebook, something like, would you like to manage 10,000 servers as a DevOps engineer? Click here to learn more. And then you would have some quick opt-in page for DevOps engineers to learn more about this opportunity. Okay, so different strategies really based on your budget, based on your options, based on how much time you would like to dedicate to it. But of course, your own talent pool, your own database could be the easiest and the fastest way to get some prospective candidates. And that actually reminds me that there is the talent pool module. So how to build the talent pool. It walks you step by step through how to reach out to your first connections and second connections, how to capture the contact details and everything. So this way you would be able to build a valuable talent pool so that in 2 months, in 3 months, you can start utilizing it and submit candidates from the talent pool eventually. Okay. Cool. What else? Just looking at the questions again. How can I start with the bounty hunting? So good question again, how to start with bounty hunting. I mean, it definitely depends on where you are at with regards to the current skills. If you already have experience with IT recruiting, then you can just join the platform, Recruit Instantly. You can see the open positions, you can see the bounties, and you can just activate your account and start submitting candidates. So easy peasy. If you don't know what to do just yet, then of course it will be a lot more challenging, but that's why the training is in place, so that you would be able to go through a few modules to learn about the IT world, about the different IT roles, and then how to build a talent pool for selected roles, for example, project managers in Belgium, or Java developers in Germany, for example, or database developers in Poland. And once you build a good talent pool, then you can start offering these people on the market to prospective clients. Okay, so really depends on where you are at. Based on the name, I don't recall what's your background. So anyway, cool. If you guys have any other questions, let me know. I'm just looking at the list now. Also, where is this? Just lost it. Because I also on LinkedIn, I use some blocker, like ad blocker. So the video often, I mean, on the side, it just kind of disappears here and there. But never mind. Hope everything is fine. I'll try in another window just to be safe. Cool. In the meantime, you guys can also let me know in the chat whether you've been already going through the content, what have you already seen and what not in the e-learning area. Just let me know. Okay. Theater mode. What are these different modes? Gosh. Okay. Anyway. Crazy. Okay. Cool. So those were a few questions that I saw. There are other questions that we can also go through related to either the summer camp or the masterclass. So one of the question is, how do I log into the Recruit instantly? Well, at the Recruit instantly, that's really easy. You just go to recruitinstantly.com, and then there is an option to log in. So just click login, and then a new window opens. At the bottom, there is a sign up. So don't have an account, sign up. Okay, so on the bottom, right below the sign in, there is sign up. So create the account. Once you create the account, then obviously it depends on whether we have invited you or not. If we invited you, most likely your account will be upgraded. If we have not invited you just yet, then you have two options. You can let us know. If you are supposed to have the account, then probably, I don't know, maybe Andrea, my colleague, maybe she forgot, or maybe the email invite was somewhere lost. So hopefully that's not the case. So your account should be upgraded. And if not, if you did not join the summer camp, then probably you just need to upgrade the account manually. But if you join the summer camp, then you should be safe. Okay, cool. Cool. What else? How to understand the difference between full stack and backend developer? Well, that's a good question. Full stack and backend. So in the IT Essentials, in the module, I explained the differences between the three different IT layers. One is backend, one is front end. So front end is what users can see, and backend is what users cannot see. So the backend, what we cannot see, you can imagine as a server, something that does the computation. And then there is a database. That's the third layer. So the database is something that stores the data. Okay, so full stack developers usually can do all three. So they can work with the front end, the visuals, the back end, which is processing some business logic, and then the database. So the full stack developers can handle it all. And the backend developers usually can only handle the business logic and store data in a database. So those two are usually related because that's how it works. The data needs to be stored, retrieved, and when it is retrieved, they usually somehow run some business logic on top of it. Yeah, so the full stack developers know all three. It's much more difficult because they need to understand the programming languages on the front end website, on the back end to handle the business logic. They need to understand the programming languages and frameworks associated with those languages. So sometimes it's really a madness. I mean, sometimes I'm thinking like, hey, it was fun a few years ago to develop software, but it's just changing so quickly that I'm not sure whether I would still, enjoy learning new tools and new programming languages and new frameworks every so often. Anyway, so that's what developers have to go through. They chose this profession, so good for them. We in recruiting, we just need to handle the recruiting part to stay up to date with that regard. Cool. Okay, so just looking at the questions, looks like I covered those in the chat. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions and I'll answer. And if not, then we'll wrap it up. I have a new colleague who just started a week ago. He focuses on business development. So yeah, I'll share some insights soon with regards to onboarding new clients, doing the business development. I'll probably capture some of those insights in the e-learning module soon. So the module is already focused on client acquisition and the new strategies. So that's, by the way, what I like about the training itself, that also I see what our colleagues do, and then I see what works, what doesn't, and what works I capture in the e-learning area, so you guys can benefit from the latest insights. Cool. Anyway, so if there are no more questions, so let's wrap it up. You guys let me know in the members area, in the e-learning portal, what do you struggle with? Usually after each lesson there is a question, what do you remember, or maybe there is something unclear. So just let me know. I can then answer during the next Q&A. I'll try to organize these Q&A sessions more often, because I'm sure you guys have questions, but at least let's do it on Tuesdays around this time. It's 5 p.m. here in Central Europe, in Slovakia, where I'm based. So yeah, we can do it at this time. Anyway, so good luck going through the e-learning area. If you have any questions, let me know, or Andrea, or any of my other colleagues, just yeah, ping them, and yeah, we will take it from there. Cool. So have a wonderful day, everyone. If you have any further questions, send them my way and I'll respond soon. See you guys. Bye.